Hi, I'm Leather Rock. Welcome to my channel using my brand new phone. And that's the subject of this video. I'm going to tell you the story about how I got this brand new phone that I am just barely learning how to use. And I'm filming this from Washington, D.C., one of my favorite places. And this phone I ultimately got from Best Buy. Now, I want to give you a look at the phone, and the only way I really know how to do that is to get in front of the mirror. So I'm thinking, how do I do this? Can you see a mirror image of the phone? Um, I don't know how. Well, anyway, if you look at the thumbnail, which obviously you did, or you wouldn't have seen this, click it on, you see the phone. It is by Motorola, and it's called the Edge. And one of the main reasons why I got this phone is because I needed a device that I could carry on my YouTube channel. It was a desperate need I had. And after hearing people tell me for the past couple of years that a cell phone can do what a computer does, and I'm thinking I need to put it to the test because I realize everybody who uses a laptop computer uses it for different things, and everybody that has a cell phone uses it for different things. And if you're used to creating content, I think the most important thing you need is enough storage space for the creation of all the videos and pictures that you're making. Even if you use only half of what you're filming in your social media or your channels, whether or not you're monetized, and you don't have to start out monetized to eventually get monetized. You still need something that will store your stuff. And when I was seeing so much of cell phones out in the market that looked like it hardly stored anything, and things that I wanted the most didn't seem to all come together. And one of my favorite manufacturers, which is Apple, one of the things that always was disappointing to me about its products is that you could never add to it if you saw however much storage room it was. If you wanted to add a flash drive, for instance, or a mini SanDisk chip or something like that, you couldn't do it. And until very recently, if they're even now doing it, they refused to provide the schematics of their products so that people couldn't easily fix them. And if you tinkered with any of their devices, you'd void their warranty and everything. Their stuff is not inexpensive. Now, this particular phone that I got, it was supposed to be only available online. I came here with cash to spend because one of the ways that I am frugal with my money and how careful I am since the future is so uncertain, especially in my life nowadays. You save your uh, debit cards and any kind of ways that you buy online for when you're shopping online. Why use either a credit card, which actually I have complicated feelings about credit cards right now. People are in debt now because of the economy more than ever. Even my mother has a balance, and she never ever carried a balance before. She always would pay it at the end of the month. So, but I understand that for some people they may still be struggling with credit card debt. But say you get those non-reloadable debit cards that you can use to shop with. I don't usually use them in person. I save them for online. But this cell phone was something I absolutely needed to get. And how I got the cell phone involved, I was actually not at a Best Buy. I was in Washington, D.C. at a Walmart. And I don't even know which exact neighborhood it is because Washington, D.C., you think you know it. It has all these different neighborhoods. And then there also is the whole area. It's not just the District of Columbia itself, but sometimes you find yourself in Maryland. Sometimes you find yourself in Virginia, you know. And if you're taking the metro, you never know what state you're going to be in. So you can actually be doing a whole lot of miles, as I ended up doing when I got into town. Uh, because I needed to get back on my YouTube channel desperately. And I also wanted to have something that I could live stream the presidential inauguration with. And since it seems to me that carrying 14-inch laptops is frowned upon by the Secret Service when you're trying to get past magnetometers and all these different devices, and They wouldn't even let me bring my clapboard in at the Wildwood rally. Uh, and that was, and I wish I had a device that was working at the time that I could have filmed that, especially the parts that was the most fun, like the camp out things. But fast forward to getting to Washington, D.C., I wasn't able to find and get a cell phone before I got on a bus to come here. And I was not about to take the chance of getting something delivered by Amazon that at the time I only had 3 days before I thought I was going to depart. And having notoriously bad packaging delivery, I think I would rather just buy the thing in person. So, but there was a sale online, so I couldn't just go to a store and buy it. It had to be ordered. And of course, I had to give some cash to a friend who had to take it to his bank and had to convert it in such a way that he could order this device that I ended up purchasing through, online. You ended up saving, it would have been over $800, and this was like 399. Okay. And it has the internal storage is 512 gigabytes. It's not too bad. That's half a terabyte. I was under the impression that it's also supposed to come with a area that you can put in a 1 terabyte chip. And the thing is, Best Buy, who I ended up buying it from, because when we were calling around and using whatever AI is on my friend's phone, because my friend who actually has a cell phone in whose apartment this is the one that actually made some phone calls when we were in the Walmart, because the Walmart we were in, the lady who was in the electronics department, she looked like she just didn't feel very motivated to help us. She seemed bored and annoyed and didn't understand what I was talking about when I was asking her about different things. And she was, I don't know if it was a cultural thing because I was all trumped out and she was wearing a hijab and stuff, and she just seemed kind of miserable at her job. And it's like if you're dealing with the public, and especially if people might either be looking for advice or know what they want and have certain technical info, and if you're a salesperson, then all you need to do is read boxes and find out, yes, this is the specs that my friend who, or not friend, who, the person who's shopping is looking for. It shouldn't be that hard. And if I already come armed with basic information of the what I need in the devices that I'm about to plunk my hard-earned cash, thank you for, at least be grateful that I'm trying to spend money with you, and if you know things, try to help me out. So she just, anyway, what ended up happening is the friend who I was with, whose phone he was using, he called Best Buy and he talked to a Best Buy salesman who stayed on the phone for 2 hours. They found a model which satisfied my basic requirements but wasn't too bad on the budget. And I found out all the reasons why iPhones, how as expensive and wonderful as they are, why they really wouldn't have worked, because they still don't have the kind of storage I would want for how much they are. So I am better off getting something that's not that. Anyway, I'm very happy with this, but we had to go clear across to a place called Pentagon City to their Best Buy to actually get the get the phone and get the. Now weren't going to get the 1 terabyte chip yet because they said that they didn't have any in stock, but they would send it to my friend's place here, and I would just use the internal storage that's already in the card, in the computer, not computer, in this cell phone, and then in a couple of days the thing would come, and because the time that this was, it would have been a long holiday, but it wasn't. I wasn't in a hurry because I figured how much footage would I stand to get the two inauguration uh, days that I was aware of. And not being online all this time, I wasn't able to find out in advance about anything else that I would have wanted to go to. So we get to this place, and turns out for some reason the order was canceled. Now keep in mind you're riding the metro and you're taking the buses, you're going underground, and how much fare you end up paying has to do with how far you're going. So much of the day, the first full day that I was here, uh, we're going all over the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area so that I could get the cell phone so that I could keep on going with this YouTube channel. this is just, imagine if you had a channel and through some act of violence on some stranger's part, they took you offline because they smashed your equipment, and say you knew that you needed to get a different kind of equipment anyway because it would be more practical for some of the things you had looking forward to doing in the future. And as soon as Trump won the inauguration, the election, I knew that I was going to go to Washington D.C. And a couple of weeks before I actually came here, my friend who I stay with when I'm here, he called out of the blue. After that guy had done the violent thing, but I hadn't called him to let him know about things because I don't want to bother people or make assumptions or whatever. Just because I'm going through some kind of drama doesn't mean that everybody else isn't dealing with other things, and I don't want to interfere with people's lives and stuff. So, but anyway, he called me, so I got to tell him about what was going on with my housing situation and the fact that I needed to get a cell phone so that I could keep up with my channel because I've been away from video posting so long. It was really a weird, sad kind of stress because when you're used to being out there and doing something daily, and you're thinking when you all of a sudden, it's like when I turn on TV and there's shows I like to watch, and I get to know at a certain time or a certain day at least, there's going to be something from them. And imagine if you're used to getting things from people and you haven't heard any announcements saying they were canceled or that somebody had a sickness in the family or something, they just stopped posting. You think, what the heck's going on? Well, that happened to me, and didn't have any way of letting people know what had happened because I still had the two-step authentication set up on my channel. Plus, my comments are set to automatic moderation. So even if I had somebody go and say something as a comment on a comment or something, nobody sees anything publicly until I physically okay it. And whenever I tried going to the library, whenever I would log in and I still know the email account and the password to get into this stuff, they would always want to send a code to my Atlantic City landline phone number. And whenever I got this digit code, then I would give it back to Google, and then they would let me. It's kind of them verifying that it's me, especially if it's a new device. And this is obviously brand new. But see, I thought this would be so easy. I thought I would just get into town. I thought that my friend who I'm staying here with would show me how to use this iPad since he films with iPads. And then once I got that up and running, then I could get this set up because I was told by Amazon that in order to get use this, I had one time only that I could change the email address that is, when you have a hard time with your email address, sometimes they send things to an alternate email address. Well, I have a certain alternate email address that I don't want to use anymore because it's so overfull, you can't send or receive from it anyway. So I can have things sent to my iCloud thing, but in order to do that, I have to have access to that in order to set this up. And whenever I go downstairs to the Wi-Fi room, I can never do much with this. I had to delete some footage I shot on this, and I shot very little on it. It's a 16 gigabyte machine. That makes it practically useless. It has no storage room. It could be used for live streaming, though. But the thing is, I shot a few things regarding Trump that I do want to be able to put on YouTube. And the thing is, my problem is, I tried even doing this today. I finally got that iPad to accept the log on for the lounge downstairs. But when I try to do anything with YouTube, it requires me to get the YouTube app. And apparently, the App Store, the YouTube Store, it takes up a certain amount of memory in your machine. And if all you have is 16 gigabytes to start out with, even the fact that I deleted 3 crappy videos and any ugly picture that I took, you know, uh, so I don't know that I have any room to delete anything else to get that app. Plus, it's saying that in order for me to get the iOS 6 or whatever it is, it wasn't accepting that. So there's a good chance that maybe that device is so old it will no longer take updates. It would mean it's, I guess, digitally dead or something. And if that's the case, then how the heck am I going to get the stuff out of this. I was thinking maybe I could play it for you while I use this to film, and you won't get as high a quality of the footage I got, but it's something. So let me know in the comments, because I'm sure most of you watching me are way more tech savvy than myself. But back to the story. So we're in the Pentagon City Best Buy, and the order was canceled. This was, oh, where's my calendar? Okay, so this is where it's great that I, as a YouTuber, like to carry calendars like this because it really helps to give perspective. Okay, I arrived here technically on Saturday the 18th of, of January. Okay. Uh, the 19th, Sunday, early, my friend, oh yeah, we were trying to go and make sense of trying to get logged on with all these other devices, and I couldn't do it downstairs. And my friend has so many other outside commitments. He can't be babysitting me all the time because he has things he has to be outside. When it was brutally cold, dude was putting on like a snowsuit and was out there for hours out in really, really, really cold weather that I had thought it was going to be this cold. But anyway, so all day on Sunday the 19th, while the Trump rally camp out had been going on, and I didn't think about the camping out because I figured if Trump was worried about people being exposed to the cold, he wouldn't want people doing camping out outside. So during all that day Sunday, my friend and I were going all over trying to get the cell phone, right? Going all over underground, all over. And that was really, what state are you in? You really have to pay attention. So we found the thing was canceled. Then we had to give up on that and we had to I just took the iPad that is basically useless and added a couple more layers to what I was wearing, and then we went to the general area of the facility where the Trump rally was, and was called the Capital One Arena. And at first, we weren't even at the right location. We were like around the corner from it, but we weren't where the people were starting to line up for it or anything. But it's just as well because I got some real nice visuals, and I did get a nice video or two, short things showing what it was like when the snow started to fall. And it was kind of a picturesque area because you can see some lights from some of the high class hotels that were in some trees, and you saw some other things. But then I made another video where I was lining up to try to get in. And some of that footage I deleted because it really wasn't interesting, but others I kept. Then there is some footage of being inside there that even though we got there so late that we only got maybe the tail end, the last half hour of Trump's speech. And whatever happened afterward, I got that. But I filled up the whole iPad, and now I really wish I could get you guys that stuff I shot because the main reason why I came out here, the main reason why I got the cell phone was so I could share the inauguration and whatever related festivities with you. But that's not the rest of the story because I'm still without a cell phone, and one day after another is happening and happening, and I was feeling like I'm starting to feel like I'm getting underfoot. And if you can see here that when you pack for a week to 10 days and you end up having a bunch of stuff because you have to take your stuff out of your backpack so that you can find things. And then you have to like organize outfits according to like you want to be able to find your clothes and say you want to organize for planned videos. That's what I've done here. But I feel bad for my friend whose apartment this is, and he is a totally nice, neat apartment. And even though we've been friends literally since at least 1992 in Hollywood, that's where we met. And he lives here. And he said, whenever I find myself in Washington, D.C., I have floor space. So as you can see, I don't have to be on the floor. I'm actually on the couch, and that's groovy. But let me tell you how I finally got this phone. So, as you can imagine, day after day was passing by, and I was getting really depressed because I'm thinking, am I ever going to get something to carry on my YouTube channel with? I'm going to have to go back east soon, and I am going to have nothing to show for it. As far as I'm concerned, if I can't prove that I was out here doing things, it's almost like it didn't happen. Because I can write things down in my current journal, which I've been writing feverishly since I've been here. But you want to document things, especially when you're a part of history in some way, and when you're in a place with beautiful architecture, and when you're hanging out with your friends, you want to be able to document it. It's a souvenir, right? And I'm thinking, well, how am I going to get this phone if they canceled my order, which none of us asked for it to be canceled, you know? It's weird when you have money and you can't seem to get it in the hands of the people who will just take your money and give you what you want. So what we ended up doing was a couple of days. Uh, my friend had outside commitments, and one day I attempted hanging out with him when he was participating in this thing called the Peace Vigil. That's where you're basically out in the elements, except you do have a couple blankets you can duck under. But you're out in the cold, and it's not too far from the White House, except it's a lot further from the White House during presidential inauguration time, obviously. So it's easy to lose it when you're looking for your friends who are staffing it. But no, he had things to do, so uh, my trying to find a cell phone had to be put on back burner. Then the next day we went to eat at a place, and but anyway, finally there was a day that was free, and we had to take the chance that my cell phone was still available because I was under the understanding that the sale was only going on until the 21st of the month. All right. But he made a phone call and find out we had to go clear out in Virginia. Okay, there's all these places I never heard of. Well, this I had heard of, Alexandria, Virginia. It's a couple of stops past the Arlington National Cemetery. It's on when you take these different subways, except they don't call them subways here. They all call them the Metro. Don't make that mistake. I don't think they care what you call them, as long as you don't evade the fare. But so we got there, and I was really worried because this particular store only had one left. So we go and we get the phone, and one thing I probably shouldn't have done is while my friend was actually sitting waiting for the salesperson to get the phone and stuff, and everything was in his name because he had to use his checking account or something because I'd given him the cash and whatever. So while he was doing this, I was looking at all the cases, not realizing the cases I was looking at weren't even for the phone size I have; they were for iPhones. So if I had been there, I would have asked about the chip that needs to go in the phone. And the thing is, they said that they no longer put in anything you need in any installation. They don't do anything for free now. If you don't have a tech service plan, they would have charged. And the thing is, they have a thing they make you sign that if first of all, there's no way you can avoid opening up the phone to take a look at it to see, make sure it's everything that you hoped it would be. But there's a $49 restocking fee. And once you open up the thing, which is what you have to do in order to stick that stupid thing in, when I tried to find a thing to stick the thingy in to expand it to add a terabyte of storage, the only thing there was a SIM card, which everybody says now is just for your cell phone airtime. It has nothing to do with extra storage time. So it's occurred to me that maybe they sold me the wrong phone. Either that or maybe the man who I was talking to the tech guy, the salesperson, maybe he was wrong when he said that this was an expandable phone that I could have. So they would end up being 1.5 terabytes if I have the terabyte that I add to the 526 gigabytes or whatever it is. So anyway, you know what? Still, when you think about what the deal was for how good I guess it is, it's 5G. That probably doesn't mean anything until I get some kind of a service plan, which again, I don't know when I'm going to do that. But if I can learn to do certain things. There's more things I want to learn how to do with this channel. Like, for instance, I haven't learned how to go live without being stuck in the portrait mode. I want to do landscape mode so that I can show pictures. I noticed that they don't say to let you uh, pick a picture so that you can do your own thumbnail. You're stuck with your headshot that you already use on your channel. I love that headshot of mine, but still, I would like to be able to do a custom thumbnail like I do for all my other live streams. You know, I want to have the same experience that you have on a computer. With tablets, I know there's something that you can click in Creator Studio that said desktop version, and that enabled you to have all the things that you were used to using when you had a computer. I've never seen anything here that mentions desktop version. This is my very first cell phone, and I'm just hoping that I can do really great things with it for my YouTube channel. I will find out what the exact kind of phone it is. It is a Motorola Edge 2023, or maybe Edge Plus. This is the box it came in, and it comes with a charger and the very most meager so-called address book that anybody ever invented. You get something that's all legal stuff, and you get something else that basically just gives you a diagram of where everything is as far as the physical things, you know, where to turn things off and all that stuff. Um, but that is the story about how I got my phone. They happened to have that one in stock. We got there, and I have been slowly but surely figuring out a few little things how to do with this. It'll be nice to be in a situation where I have extended Wi-Fi so I can do things with this. Also, when I am in a position to find out where the passwords are of my things like my MySpace and my Facebook and my Twitter and stuff, then I'll get the real functionality of this, because then I will be able to, you know, have links to those things. But anyway, that's a story about my new phone. Again, I will show you if you can see. Um, I'm I'm trying to show you. One of these is going to show you. Okay, yeah. Look behind me, and you will see the phone. Oh, but that's not helping because you don't see uh, the 5 cameras in the front and the back of it and stuff. All right. If you're looking for a phone that can help a YouTube channel stay alive and you don't want to pay iPhone prices, I guess you could do a lot worse than this phone I have. I can't tell you much about how to use it because I'm just finding it out, but that's what I have now. And until I can get a laptop, which I know a lot better how to use, I'm going to be doing my videos with this, so I hope you enjoy. And I will talk to you again tomorrow with another video from one of my favorite towns, Washington, D.C. Uh, enjoy some art by a good friend. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.